Mindacha Kaushaliana Zagavinara Show. Okay. विविध व्यक्तिमत्वांचा जीवनाचा प्रवास श्रवणीय अनुभवांची असे माहिती खास सगळ्यांना हा टॉक शो असे सजग बनवणारा विजन विस्डमच्या अगदी जवळ नेणारा माइंडाच्या कौशल्यांना जागविणारा शो माइंडफुल हा टॉक शो माइंडफुल हा टॉक शो माइंडफुल हा टॉक शो.
Hello everyone, how are you? I am Dr. Aarti Suryavamshi and welcoming you once again in the third season of Mindful Heart Talk Show, अर्थात Passion, Profession and Purpose. Mindful Heart Talk Show is a talk show of well-known mindful personalities, all those personalities who are living with purpose. Today we are at Swades Foundation, Worli, and we will be having Mindful Heart Talk Show with none other than Zarina Screwvala ji.
Hello.
Warm welcome Zarina ji in my Mindful Heart Talk Show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aarti. It's so wonderful to be with you today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to come to Swades Foundation office and cover your story.
We're very happy to have you. Thank you.
Yeah. Zarina ji is co-founder and managing trustee and director of Swades Foundation. Swades Foundation works to alleviate poverty and upliftment of rural community through sustainable 360-degree developmental model. And Zarina ji also has her social media company, that is UTV, and you might have heard about a lot of channels those have started by Zarina ji herself. They are Hangama TV, or you might be knowing about
Bindas.
Bindas.
But
yes.
now, though, that is my past life.
Yeah, that
That's
is your
media
past
days
life.
are now over.
I know.
Yes.
So, but people must be knowing you because of
Maybe,
them.
maybe,
There are
yes.
other channels also I have heard about it, that Shakalaka Boom Boom, the program you have started, and that was
Lots of
completely
them.
devoted to children.
Yes, yes.
And also there is another show which was really very famous, very popular show, which is Saap Seedi and Snake and Ladder. So it's,
yes,
I mean,
many shows.
amazing. I think then UTV divested into Walt Disney.
Yes, that's
And
correct.
Zarina ji then moved to full-time philanthropist. Amazing, hats off to you. I mean, taking this kind of a decision of life or becoming philanthropist, I mean, it's, I don't know, it might be very easy for you, but for us who understanding, you know, from, because leaving this kind of industry and, you know, becoming philanthropist is, I mean, how did it began? I mean, could you please put some light, you know, on this?
Sure, sure. Actually, you know, it was very natural. Of course, I did it when I was quite old, when I was about 52 years old. After 25 to 30 years of media. Media is very intense and very, takes a lot out of you. It's,
Right, yeah.
For years and years, we devoted our time and energy with Ronnie and I to UTV, building UTV. And then in
Yes.
2012, when we divested to Disney, I think I felt like a, you know, my child had got married or something and gone away, you
Absolutely.
know.
Oh my
It was
God,
like
yeah.
doing a bidai. So I was feeling very lost. I didn't know what to do with myself. Ronnie continued to run the joint entity. I didn't want to do that. I was searching for a new purpose.
Right, yeah.
And so I thought I'll join Teach for India.
Okay.
And then I decided to join Teach for India. I met this
Okay.
wonderful lady, Shaheen Mistry, who I deeply admire.
Wow.
And I called up Ronnie and I said, you know, Ronnie, I've decided to join Teach for India.
Uh-huh.
And that night when I went home, this is how Swades was born, he said to me, Zarina, why don't we lift 1 million people out of poverty? And I said, that's such an amazing but audacious idea. I'm on.
Wow.
Now, this is how we always had a small NGO called Share, which had been doing work in the villages for many, many years since the year 2000.
Right.
But this was a whole different idea. It was like putting our mind, our energy, our money, everything into it. Everything that we had to go into this idea.
Right, right.
So that was how Swades was born.
So
and it was not even called Swades, it was called Share.
Right.
that
So
time.
how did you come on to the name Swades?
So when we were telling this same story, like what we decided, so what we did is we went on this journey and then we decided to work in the villages, and I'll tell you about that in a bit. But the name Swades, we were telling this idea of transforming rural India to a bunch of young people.
Correct.
And they said, hey, that sounds like your movie Swades.
Exactly.
So in that moment we decided.
I had that particular question
Yes.
and curiosity
Yes.
in my mind as well.
Yes. So
that whether you have started exactly after movie Swades?
not exactly, but we got the idea from our own. I mean, somebody said that sounds like your movie Swades, and Ronnie said, let's call it Swades. I said, the idea and it was like he said it, this one of the boys, I don't remember who, and Ronnie and I just looked at each other and said, so that's how the name came. And you know, actually from that, the idea of Swades is really Swa se bane des. Wow. That's the idea. And I remember
Swa se bane des.
it's such a beautiful idea, and it came to us from this person called Wispy, if I'm not mistaken, one of the agency people. I'm really sorry that at this moment I can't remember his surname, but a very brilliant mind who was introduced to us by Aggie, who's also another brilliant agency mind. And I'm very grateful to him for this idea. It was not our idea. Swa se bane des.
Wow.
It is so inspiring, and we say it everywhere we go.
Yes.
And we use the music, thanks to T-Series have been kind enough, because it stirs the soul, you know, this music.
Actually.
Even when our community hears it, you know, that it's our country, but it's really about changing your own life.
Yeah.
Being able to change your own life.
Wow.
That is what Swades is about.
Yeah. And that is what you people do through Swades Foundation.
That is the main purpose.
Purpose.
To build a model which allows 1 million people to be lifted out of poverty every 5 years through primarily community-driven change. Primarily. Of course, we have to support. And we have to build these ecosystems of support.
Correct.
But
This is
primarily,
so much. I mean, that means a lot. I mean, it actually reaching out to people, and they are in rural areas, in the pockets, going to them, and then making them able.
making them able how firstly? So Arti, we realize there are two kinds of poverty.
Okay.
There is material poverty, which you see all around you. You
Right.
go, even in it's all over the world. Why
Right.
only India?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
So you'll see the lack of drinking water. You'll see the lack of toilets, health, education, livelihoods. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we realize through our own learnings and realizations that there is a more difficult to remove kind of poverty. The real poverty that really deeply saddened us, not that material poverty doesn't sadden us, it deeply disturbs us, was mental poverty. So, you know, RPG, it is the kind of poverty where a person says to themselves that I'm poor and I can do nothing about it. It's a complete lack of hope. And that really is something that
So
is
is it
destructive, very destructive. It's
Right.
the inability to see a better future for myself, for my family. I have no hope, I have no way
No
out
hope.
of this. There's no hope.
Right. So
That
it
is
might
what
be
we work
happening
on.
generations to
It's
generations.
generational poverty, you're so right. So we work to alleviate first the mental poverty through community-driven empowerment models, which we have now developed over the years. It's been 10 years of working in the community, realizing that actually, RTG, we were doing charity initially. You know, and we were discussing this
Yeah,
earlier,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So I really want to know that what do you think about the charity? Whether really charity works, or you, I mean, you
Yes,
are the right
yes.
person to speak
So,
about
yes,
it.
of course, charity is very much needed. Like
Needed.
if there's a COVID emergency,
Correct,
or if there's
correct.
any emergency, give with your full heart.
Yeah.
Give with your full heart. If a child needs a heart operation, give with your full heart.
Right.
But for systemic change, long-term, strategic, systemic
Right.
change,
Right.
charity is not the answer.
Right.
Empowerment models need to be created. Ecosystems very well thought through, patiently implemented, checked, strategized. You need a lot of patience,
Wow.
lot of checking, lot of measurements, lot of objectivity. You need head, heart and mind.
Wow.
It cannot be just your heart which rushes to help, which you need in an emergency. So charity for emergencies,
Wow, I love
but
this.
for long-term systemic change.
The
You need
3H.
empower. Yes,
Power.
you need all three, and you need empowerment models that are for long-term systemic change. And Artiji, you need to measure. So you really need your head, your heart, and your hands. You cannot work without that.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear this. I can resonate myself there. You know, I love this concept 3H. You know, head,
Yes.
heart, and hands.
It is beautiful and so
yeah,
true.
and the balance of all this is so
The balance.
important.
So, you know, it's also about a sense of purpose.
Ha.
It's also about using the mind with intelligence, having empathy, but not just emotion.
Correct.
You also need to see, you need to judge, you need to see, is this working or not? You may do everything with a goodwill, but without efficiency, how does it work?
How does it work?
It does not work, then you must stop. You must be
Yeah.
able to say, no, my program, I put so much into it, it's
Yeah.
not working.
Correct.
We've done it so often, Artiji.
Yeah.
We've recognized that a program is not working. Even our model initially was not working. We changed it. We changed our model.
I was coming, I mean, I always wanted to come on to this. So, this is, I think, right time to ask you.
Yes.
Please tell us a little more about the model.
Okay.
We really are very eager to know.
So
about
we
your model.
started with this 360 degree. Means
Right.
what are the principles that Swades is built on? Okay, there are a few principles which I'll explain. One is the 360. Honestly, it's really hard. And all the people who we met initially, because we were media people, said, please do one thing and do it well. This we did not listen to. We decided if we have the goal of lifting people out of poverty, there's certain things we will need to do. And then we also recognize there's certain things which we would have liked to do, but we can't, like building roads,
Right.
building hospitals, building schools. We can't do that in thousands and thousands and thousands of villages. We can't.
Right, right.
But what we do have in our verticals initially in 2013 when we started, we had drinking water with a tap.
Okay.
Okay, individual household toilet,
Wow.
schooling, education, health, and certain specific programs, very important programs in health, and multiple programs in livelihood. From the beginning, we had multiple programs in livelihood, reaching all sorts of households.
Wow.
That even the poorest of the poor can participate in their own livelihoods, to create their own livelihood. Poorest household to a slightly more well-off household. And when I say slightly more, I mean somebody who's in the 1 lakh per annum range would be a well-off household, and the poorest would be 50,000 annual household income and below.
Wow.
So you understand the levels of poverty we're
I
speaking
know.
of. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to design for the household the livelihood programs. So this is the 360, first thing. Second principle is to collaborate, not to rebuild the wheels. So we collaborated with multiple NGOs, multiple partners, collaborate. Some of them were vendors, invite people to participate, learn from others.
Learn from
okay?
others.
So we have that.
Yeah.
The other thing is we have an exit strategy. Now we haven't
Exit
managed
strategy.
to exit, but we haven't managed to exit because it takes tremendous courage. Now I think what we're doing is we're building an ecosystem. We've learned from our mistakes, and now I think in Nasik, the model
Okay.
we have built,
Okay.
we will be able to exit in 5 years.
Wow.
So we are also learning, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
the critical thing is community-driven change to address mental poverty.
Yeah.
Those are our learnings. Those are our key learnings, and I think this is the model that we have built.
Right.
So at the center is something called the Village Development Committee. Now it's a very boring name, but it's the most powerful tools Swades has developed.
Okay.
It is a group of volunteers.
It is a village
development
committee.
हाँ,
Okay.
ये अपना नाम है, अपने नाम दिया है. Villages call themselves by their own names.
Okay.
In our mind, this is what it is. They can call
Okay.
themselves anything they want
Right.
because it's theirs.
Right. So, it is VDC you call
VDC,
it.
we just
Correct,
call it. It's
correct.
a very boring name, but
Correct.
it's what is a group of volunteers
No, but
that come
it's
forward.
apt. I mean,
It's exactly what
yeah,
it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So they come forward, they have to volunteer. No one's paying them anything. They have to be half male, half female, and 2 youth, at least a certain number of youth.
Okay.
And then we make their life really difficult. Aarti ji, this is the secret. For 1 year before we give them the first thing, they have to work. Work and work and work for their village. And we test them.
They have to perform.
They have to perform. They have to meet. 80% of the households have to meet every single month and perform a task of some kind that they design. They can do anything they want. They can clean the village. They can build soak pits. They can do anything that's needed in the village, but they must do it together.
Oh.
It's called the convening power test.
Wow.
Say in the 4th month we give them something. Maybe we'll do an eye care program at that point.
Okay.
And then we have multiple things that after this we start doing the water and the sanitation, the education and the health and the livelihoods, everything. Then the Swades program starts rolling out. But through, everything is through.
Amazing.
And we have built a cadre of 10,000 plus community volunteers.
Wow.
Fully trained.
Amazing. I really want to speak about it to all of our subscribers. You know that Swades Foundation today has 300 staff which is permanently working in their corporate family.
Yes.
And 10,000
Community
Swades volunteers.
Yes.
They are working
From the community.
from the community only.
Grassroots
Wow,
volunteers.
grassroots communities, and they are working.
So that is a very important point. We work in Maharashtra.
Maharashtra.
Now, why do we work in Maharashtra?
Yeah,
Everyone
so
is
state of
asking.
Maharashtra and majorly district Raigad and Nasik now.
Nasik. And why? The
Amazing.
question
Yeah.
is why. Okay,
Yeah.
everyone asks us,
Why
are you
is the
working
main
only
question?
Maharashtra?
Why is the main
And
question?
I will answer that question. Okay. So we work first in Raigad because originally we had Share, the small NGO which we had, was in Raigad. It just happened coincidentally. So we had built RPG, what we had in Raigad was the trust of the community. It is like having gold, because to build trust takes a very long time.
Very long.
So we continued to work in Raigad as Swades because we had trust.
Right.
The other thing is we wanted to visit very often. So it takes us between 3 and 4 hours to reach Raigad one way.
I know.
Now it takes us 3 to 4 hours to reach Nasik.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's a 6-hour journey also.
I know, it's a lot of work
But the
going
thing
on.
is, we want to go, right? We're building a model. So
Yeah.
initially, we wanted to go.
Yes.
Now, after 10 years, we have built something that we believe works, and we are ready to go to other states.
Wow,
Now
that's so
ready.
nice.
We're ready to go to other
Wow.
states. And we are examining actively other states. And I'm not saying which states. We will be very happy to have people invite us to come. We are happy to go.
Right.
We go, so we take a geographic model approach, we take a block, but first we have to be very clear we want to enter a particular state. Then we'll take a block.
Okay.
And we work with the block team on the ground, the government team on the ground.
Okay, correct.
And only if they welcome us in a proper manner, meaning they are very good to work with, and we have no social problems, political problems, and other problems.
Yeah.
Religious problems. We are apolitical, a-religious organization, meaning we deeply respect all, but we are not a political or a religious organization. So we want to be welcomed by the government, by all who are there, all the parties who are there, and then we can work. Because we are only there to serve. We are there to serve and work with the people.
Amazing.
So now we're ready to enter a new state.
Wow, that's an announcement on this show.
Yes, it is actually an
That's
announcement
amazing.
on the show.
I'm so glad
and
to
we're
hear
examining
this.
which state, we're not sure.
Amazing. Wow, so glad. I mean, the growth path is going so well for the Swades. That's amazing. So, Zarina ji, Swades Foundation is growing. I'm so glad to know about it that you are now ready to enter into the another state.
Yes, we
So
are.
every time when you are taking up this particular challenge to go to the new place or the new people and bringing your principles and values to them and making them able, what do you think? What all these challenges you face and how? I mean, how do you tackle all of them?
You know what, RPG, I think always the greatest challenges are within us.
Yeah.
Okay? So that means they are related to people and to our mindset. And you are doing a show called Mind and Heart and
Yeah.
Mind, right? It is related to that. So I would say in the beginning, very beginning when we first started, my personal, as the person who was initially running it and at that time, to find the right team
Exactly.
and to stabilize the team. It took me 5 years. So I want to say to the audience, don't lose heart if you don't find the right team. You will persist. You must persist. I think persistence, tenacity, faith in yourself, ask questions. Don't be afraid to fail because you will fail. In our work, you will fail. You will. And if you don't fail, you should really ask yourself, why am I not failing? Am I not taking any risks? Am I just following the herd? What am I doing wrong? Why am I not failing?
Asking is the tool.
You need to also little bit have some mistakes. Otherwise, you're not doing anything. You're not pushing yourself. You're not challenging.
Correct.
You're just doing something that then I really value all the challenges. I value all
that
our
would be
mistakes.
very then frame bound.
It
so
would
you
would be in
have
a
to
box. You have to break the box.
Yeah. Yes.
And as philanthropists, our joy is to break the box. We're trying to solve huge problems. We cannot obviously do them the way it's been done before. We have to try something new. And whenever you try something new, you cannot do it with a fear of failure. You have to do it with a sense of victory.
Yes.
You know, there's a Greek goddess called Nike.
Yeah.
She's got wings on her.
Okay.
And that is the spirit with which you go forward. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes.
Wow.
I think a spirit of victory, the people, that's one challenge.
There are many young people, they want to start their own NGOs and they feel that there is a failure, so we just want to stop now, and
exactly.
they just give up, So what 2-3 important things you might want to tell them?
I will say, okay. So I think firstly, giving is the most beautiful thing you will do. A life of seva of any nature is a blessing, because you grow so much by giving. Yes? We are not here, we're not come into the world to take. We've come into the world to give of ourselves, right? And when we give, we also get a lot.
Yeah.
Right? But we give first, and then we get. All right?
Giving and then
giving, and it's a give and take. We come in the world to give. Now, when we give, we are going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So make the mistake, and I just want to say that you need to look at these challenges as opportunities. And this is something that I have really learned from my School of Philosophy in New Acropolis.
Such a wonderful thought.
I'm a student there, I'm a member of New Acropolis, and I'm deeply grateful to this change of perspective. It's a change of perspective. If we learn to see our challenges, our failures, our mistakes, outside circumstances even, or within us, anything challenging, as an opportunity to overcome.
Wow.
As a test. Oh, this is a test. Life is bringing me a test. Let me see how I will do.
Yeah.
It's a chance for me to grow, to learn something new.
Yes.
It's an adventure. If I can see it like that, rather than saying, why me? Why is this happening to me? I'm going to give up now. See, we all do it. Our first tendency is to either do that or to blame someone. Either I blame myself or I blame someone else. But no, if we can try and train our mind to see it as an adventure, then
that's such a beautiful thought.
Then you can do anything, because we will say, I go into this knowing that there will be failures and there will be successes.
Yes.
And also, Krishna ji said in the Bhagavad Gita, we have a right only to action. We are not here to judge. I mean, the outcomes are not ours too.
That's
will
true.
come.
That's
Whatever comes
true.
will come.
That's true.
We need to act.
Amazing,
Isn't it?
amazing. You are talking so much sense to me, and you're talking about not only about why the failures take place, or typical theory points, but you're talking about what they can do.
Yes, and you
know,
must act. Don't be afraid to act.
Yeah.
Act as you believe. We spoke about head, heart, and
Yes. Head
and we will also speak about what we speak.
Yeah.
If we can align all of that, matlab, I believe something to be right, let us say. So my words, my thoughts, my actions, and my heart and my hand, everything is aligned, then I'm going to be a happy person.
Wow.
But suppose I know something is wrong, yet I'm doing or I'm not doing, and I'm so confused. And don't allow yourself.
Right. So
reflect on your life.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing from you, Zarina ji, is that when people, they just keep thinking about their failures, then they will get stuck there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck.
Yeah. So they won't see any hope.
Ronnie has a beautiful line in his book. Failure is not a full stop. It's a comma.
It's a comma. Wow.
It's a comma.
Amazing. Yeah.
I really think we need to all learn to be resilient. We need to persist. We need to have constancy. We need to keep going. We need to have faith in ourselves. We need to ask for help.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. I cannot tell you how many we've made.
I know.
But I've learned, and I'm now 62, I've learned to be grateful for my mistakes.
Mindful heart action.